record chickens for a second here because they're ridiculous.
Well, they're doing a good job. Moving around.
That cat goes everywhere with him.
You'll record that. Well, it is that thing. This cat is, I'm going to say 10 years old anyway. Dad, that cat is at least 20. All right, I said it's a 20-year-old cat. Well, he's stomping around on top of my onions here, and I'm trying something different. I actually bought these onions from Gurney because they're supposed to get nice and big. And then I come to find out that I was raising them wrong.
Uh-oh.
So they've got a very big appetite. So they have to be basically fed a lot. And I didn't take that into consideration because, you know, before we've always thrown onions in the ground, they grew. But they never got much bigger than a quarter. Now this is supposed to get much better than that. So anyway, this has got Miracle Grow mixed 1 bag per 2 bags of topsoil. This is a raised garden. The reason why it's raised is for the old man to be able to get in here and pull grass and weeds out of there, because grass and weeds kills onions, drops their ability to grow. They still grow, you can cut them off and eat them green, they don't do the job. This is strawberries for the same reason. I don't need to get down on my hands and knees, which I can't do anymore anyway. But the worst thing for strawberries is grass and other weeds, especially broadleaf weeds that get in and block the strawberry. And cat. Now, this is another, using Miracle Grow. I'm not selling the product, but it works. 1 bag to 2 bags. In other words, 1 cubic foot bag to 2 cubic foot topsoil mixed in together. And this has a special preparation for strawberries and strawberries only. I found it at Rural King, and I'm trying it out for the first year. These were planted in the mix, and then now there is a lot of mulch on top. The idea is mulch holds liquids, keeps the weeds down, and so forth and so on. So that's the reason why this is built the way it is, and it should last for several years, because when you plant a strawberry patch, it stays. It doesn't go anywhere. They come up every year, pending they're taken care of. Get the grass out of them, broadleaf leaves out of them, and the cat out of them would help too. Now over here is a process in being made. That is, I planted that this morning. That is potatoes. It has a mixture of the same quantity, but it also had a little additional fertilizer, a liquid, so that it could go down through the straw, and the straw and all that mulches it and keeps the liquid from basically evaporating out. It's going to rain, and of course we need a little rain on the to get them started. Of course, you know, you cut your potato up, and when you see the little green growth on the seed potato, and that's what's in there. Now the one down here is a process that's going to be taking place hopefully tomorrow. We'll be raising this bed to that height. Again, this will be beets, and beets don't do well with weeds. So as a result, we're building it up so that I can keep it weeded, and it'll have a mixture of stuff on it. Beets don't take a whole lot, but one of the YouTube things that I watched, they come out every 2 weeks and water them down with a nitrogen mixture, a fertilizer. The Alaskan fertilizer is great because it also has certain micro bodies in it, which helps keep the soil. And the other thing I'm going to be doing with these beets, as well as the rest of these, is get some red worms, put the red worms in, because we need to have that constant working of Mother Nature, or using beneficial animals and insects to get the job done. And so, when this is filled up, you'll see us putting wood in the bottom of it and coming in with dirt in the bottom, and then we make our mixture and put the mixture in there, and then I plant each seed every 3 inches so that it has the opportunity to get nice and big. Over here is another process being made shortly. This whole row is peas. This is a special treatment. I had to take this down to its bare dirt as possible and inoculate it first before we put the peas in the ground with a good strong solution of nitrogen. So the entire pea patch has to be inoculated before it's then treated with more topsoil and Miracle-Gro and so forth and so on. So, and it has to sit there for a little while. So this will be a project that we can get started. It's already been raked, and now it needs to have its non-beneficial weeds out of there. There's a lot of dandelions growing up, and they need to go because they get big and they block the plant from growing. However, peas are one of these things that they somehow manage to get past all those weeds, and they grow up on the fence wire, and so the old man who can't get down on his hands and knees can come along here and pick the peas. They're viney. We like the edible pod type real well, so that's basically what's going to go in here. Now, that bed over there beside the greenhouse is pollinator garden. It has all of the plants that have been recommended to attract bees and beneficial insects. Then I'm going to try something new that I haven't done before, and that is, this is going to be cabbage. Normally you put cabbage in a row out in the field, but then you can't control what's in the dirt that much. So as a result of that, after I clean it out and let it set, and then let it age a little bit with the fertilizer on top of it, because I'm going to fertilize it first. They claim that works better. And then every 2 weeks come along with the Alaskan nitrogen and that preparation, and water them. It's better to do it that way than use tap water, because tap water has a certain amount of chlorine in it. And chlorine does a number on many plants. So we don't want that to be going on. Now if you want to step into the greenhouse, it's actually a ton of it. This is not a greenhouse that's heated. Technically this is called a tunnel. As you can see, we have the topsoil already laid out. I'll be opening the bags, and we'll be mixing Miracle-Gro garden soil with it, and then they'll get an extra shot of potash, because they like that. So at any rate, this will all be ground down, and a couple handfuls of borax, because these will be this is actually tomatoes here. Up there will be the
Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts, yeah.
Are they what need the borax?
They like a little bit of borax. They have to have a little boron going on. These guys need all of this fertilization plus an extra shot of calcium. And eggshells is what we're going to be using. Basically, we have the chickens all over the place and they're laying eggs. So every egg gets busted, gets put into a bowl and then made into a very fine powder, as fine as I can get it. It'll be planted in here for slow release, which will take care of the end rot on the tomatoes. We had a problem with that last year because I didn't catch it quick enough. I knew it had to happen, and I thought the soil had enough in it, calcium, but it didn't. So we had kind of a nasty business of losing tomatoes due to end rot. Now, this was Brussels sprouts, that was tomatoes. It's not good to do the same planting every year in the same box. So this is now tomatoes, that's Brussels sprouts, and here will be, we raised a lot of peppers last year, so I don't need bell peppers. But we do like those candy peppers. So this will be candy peppers, the little tiny ones. And that will be the little tiny cherry tomatoes over there. That bed is ready to be planted into broccoli. I have to wait until the temperature of the ground is at least 40 to 50 degrees before I can plant it. And it's a new variety that you cut the head out of the middle of it and they come up again. I can't bring to mind exactly what the name of it is, but nevertheless it's a variety that I'm playing with. I'm trying it out, see what happens. I'm also checking out a new variety of kale. So one half will be Brussels sprouts in an experimental state, and the kale will be the other half of that bed. And then we have herbs on the working table. That dead thing sitting up in the middle is not dead actually. It's very much alive underground. It's a perennial, but those are herbs that will be used in whatever cooking process that we want to use them in. This is Swiss chard. Now, it survived the winter. Almost. The upper portion of this didn't. And I'm not sure exactly, except for the fact that there is a hole, or actually all the way across, you wind up the plastic in this thing so that air can get through the bottom and circulate out the top. Well, this is fine, but I think that they got more of a winter blast than these guys did. They were covered with plastic, which held in the heat. But I think a draft came up from the corner and took these out. So I'll be replanting this. And in case we have another bad spout of cold weather, freezing weather, I'll keep this here. And put it over the hoops. That'll let the ground stay slowly getting cold rather than sudden. Sudden cold just stops the roots from doing anything. And I think that's what happened here. We have companion plants, namely onions. Those are the ones that escaped my attention when I've pulled them before for the fall. And down here, we have onions. This is well fertilized. As I said, onions have a tremendous appetite. And some of them made it through the winter and others didn't. So I planted where they didn't make it with fresh onions, new onions, and they're coming up fine. But every 2 weeks, these guys have to be fed. And I use the Miracle Grow liquid to do that in my little sprinkling can. Come out here and sprinkle. it works fine, and if they start yellowing a little bit, then we're going to be talking about using the Alaska fertilization, which is rich in nitrogen. Now, every one of these beds have been inoculated with another product, which is important. And I'm going to go around here, and I have it over here. It's I'm eager to try anything new, especially if it works. Worm castings. Now what this is the droppings from fish worms. Putting in the red worm, is not quite enough because you can't get enough of it in there. But this has the little micro pieces, bits and pieces of, well, I'm fumbling over the words. What I'm saying is you have to have a certain amount of magnesium, you have to have trace minerals and so forth and so on in order to get your garden to go well. This has a certain amount of that in there. What you do is you mix it up, and what I found works is coffee grounds. Now, excuse me, you can't just throw this around on the ground. You have to be a little bit more stringent as how you put it in. For example, this takes 7 cups to do 24 foot. Well, I'm not too good at measuring out 7 cups and spreading it out for 24 feet. 24 feet is about the length of a row in here. These are 8-foot beds, so you get 3 rows, you got 24 feet. So I mix it up with the coffee grounds so it kind of spreads it out a little bit, and that way I can measure it better. Now, so this is all a process going on, and it is March. And when the temperatures of the grounds get up to a certain degree, well, then we are 40 to 50, then we start planting the more sensitive stuff that likes cold weather. And then after that